On a cold, dark, stormy night in London, in 2007, on a high street, there was a small cafe. The only thing open, as it's past closing time for most. There was a young blonde woman in there, on the phone to someone, clearly in a good mood after a day out. Wait, when's this? No, I can't go then. I'm checking out one of my houses. A couple of weeks' time, yeah? This woman was known as Sally Sparrow. She glanced at something outside. That something didn't sit right, but she shrugged it off and pushed it to the back of her mind. Nothing important, she thought. What? Oh, Kathy, he's not that useless. Come on, he's your brother. She catches sight of something. That thing from before. Again, paying a little more attention, she saw that it was a statue of an angel on the other side of the street. Listen, Kathy, I'm going to call you back. Good night, Kathy. And she walks over to the window now, staring right at the angel. She could see the rain soaking into the stone. But something looked different about it, like it's moved somehow. She quickly ridiculed the idea. Statues can't move. But there was something peculiar in its eyes. It's like the statue was staring right at her, right through her. A shiver ran down her spine. The waiter cut the tension, calling to Sally. I've got your food, darling. She looks over at him, but her attention flits back to the angel again, her eyes dragged back to where it was. Where it was, she couldn't see it. The statue had gone. Blimey, how much have I had? She muttered to herself. Do you still want the food, love? The man was a bit confused by Sally's lack of interest. Dismissing those strange events, she turned back around and goes to pick up her food. Sorry, it just seems to be one of those days, she says as she collects her order. Don't worry, love. We've got all sorts in here. We once had a guy who thought he was being chased by a statue. He laughs as he walks off to the kitchens. Sally was frozen, looking at where the waiter had been standing, a feeling of dread rising up through her. Too much of a coincidence, surely. She stood there for a moment. Could that angel statue really have moved? No, of course not. She walks outside now, back into the pouring rain. She looks to the other end of the street. Definitely no angel. She's stunned. Could it be that the statue was moved? Or was it never there? Was she hallucinating? Then... Two people run past her worriedly. One of them was a man in a long brown trench coat, with a dark pinstriped suit on, running past, towards something, holding a device of some sort that was constantly beeping. Come on, Martha, quickly! And on comes a younger woman holding what seemed to be high-tech equipment, chasing after the man in the pinstriped suit. Sally just about heard one more thing, however. We can't let the weeping angel get the TARDIS, the doctor said, as both ran off. Sally Sparrow remained where she was for the whole time, uncertain to what was happening. Nutters, she said, as it's the only word she could will herself to say, and the only way she could process the evening that was to put it down as being late and having maybe had a few too many. She decides to head home, and with each step she finds her thinking about the angel even more, until she's really not very sure that she saw anything at all, that anything she failed to notice was watching her from the rooftop. The angel watching over her, its hands by its face, watching her walk away through its fingers. The man in the pinstriped suit, the doctor, keeps on running towards something. The young woman, Martha Jones, is following on behind him. Doctor, where's the TARDIS gone? It was right here, said Martha, noticing the lack of the TARDIS. The doctor stands there, worried. Fearfully, the doctor looks at Martha, not a familiar sight for her. They've taken the TARDIS! Martha looks at him, confused, not yet understanding what's going on. What? There's statues. Why? The doctor gets out a strange small grey device which lights up blue when he activates it. He's circling the area where the TARDIS should have been. They want the power inside. The power they could have would be disastrous. Martha looks at the Doctor anxiously, unsure what to do as he's having one of his moments where no one knows what he is doing. Martha looks around the street. Rain still pouring. The street is lit by multiple lampposts all the way down the road. Whilst looking around, she spots something at the end of the road. A distant figure she can't quite make out. She moves forward a little, squinting. Something looks wrong about this lone dark figure. She turns round and calls the Doctor. "Doctor, there's something at the end of the road." The Doctor looks at her, already predicting the worst. "What? Where?" Martha points, over to where she saw the distant figure. She can't see the figure anymore. "It was there, just a moment ago. I swear, I saw it." The Doctor looks at Martha, walks on slightly to where she saw the figure. Already worked out the situation. "Think of what we're up against, Martha." The Doctor gets out another device. The device that the Doctor was running with. He calls this device a timey-wimey detector. According to him, it goes ding when there's timey-wimey stuff. For someone who doesn't stop talking, that was a pretty simple explanation, although Martha enjoyed the moment of understanding the Doctor for once, when he goes all science-y. Martha then felt a chill. Something was not quite right. She let the Doctor do his thing, as she felt she couldn't do too much to help him at the moment. She looked down the other side of the deserted street, the rain distorting her view. She heard something, like stones scraping against stone. Could be the statues or the weeping angels, as the Doctor calls them. Martha continues to move closer to investigate, taking her further and further away from the Doctor. And what she doesn't notice is that she was correct. The weeping angel was following her, stalking her. Martha is still unaware, still just walking through the street, looking for what may come next. The weeping angel gains on Martha, taking its time, playing with her perhaps. It stands there, with its hands hovering over its cold, horrifying face. However, every time it advances closer to Martha, the weeping angel lowers its hands, revealing its sadistic smile as it gains on her. Its smile becoming more predatory, revealing its teeth, which are vampiric. The face looked like it was screaming and incredibly angry. Martha could sense something wasn't right now, her heart rate racing, becoming increasingly unsettled. She knows she needs to turn around. She senses the danger. She turns round. She sees the angel staring right at her, 2 feet between them. Its menacing claws stretched out just in front of Martha. She eyes the Doctor, still unaware of the situation, doing something with his timey-wimey detector. Martha didn't have time to think of what, so she shouts out to the Doctor, "Doctor! Doctor! Weeping angel right here!" The Doctor spins his head towards the direction of where he heard her voice. He couldn't see her, just the angel. The angel has taken Martha. The Doctor gets to his feet, staring at the angel furiously. It had taken his friend. "Bring her back now!" But what can he do? Run, I suppose. It's the only option. "Allons-y!" the Doctor said as he began to run away from the angel. Not much on his side, just hope. Hoping he can run into something before the angel catches him. He sees a house ahead of him, old, battered, falling apart. That must be it. If he doesn't get sent too far back, he could leave the message there. Worcester Drumlins. He was always warned he was going to get lost in time by weeping angels. Can't remember when though, which isn't great. But he has faith. And then... zap! The weeping angels have got the Doctor and Martha. The TARDIS key dropped onto the floor, there for the angels' taking. Both of them sent back in time. The weeping angels' plan succeeded. Whoever is going to stop them must be good, as they've got a lot to go up against.